We are trying to raise money for the Cancer Research Institute for a world immune to cancer. 100% of proceeds, every single penny that we raise here goes to the Cancer Research Institute. So please donate and donate. Donate's not a thing, Nick. Please donate and donate generously, I say, as I bring these beautiful, beautiful gentlemen into the call. Welcome to the Something Cast. James Hatton.
That's
Podcast
me.
Rob.
Yes, sir.
And the sultry, decadent Big Matt.
Good evening.
So listen to that. God. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello, Nicholas Haskins.
Yes, sir.
How you guys doing?
Us.
Doing good. Yourself?
I'm tired.
Are you at like Jerry Lewis levels, like the bow tie, like draped over the shoulders?
That's what I gotta get, like I should do that next year for Livestream. I need to start off like all buttoned up and ready to go and everything, and then slowly become more disheveled as the event drags on.
The beard grows a little more full. The hair gets a little raggled.
See, now I like the idea by the end you look like a post-apocalyptic war vet. It's patch over your eye.
Somebody's going to mention,
spikes.
Don't do that, because somebody in the chat's going to bring up Furiosa, and I'm going to get mad again.
We were just discussing in the green room.
You know, I just saw that 2 nights ago.
I'm sorry.
I did not hate it.
By tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, Nick's going to look like Chuck Barris in the last 5 minutes of any Gong Show episode.
But gentlemen, you are the Something Cast. Please tell us a little bit about yourselves and a little bit about what the hell you're doing here. Besides this.
James, me, you?
Yeah, all right. So the Something Cast is a podcast where myself, Rob, and Matt take a topic every week and we sort of explore it. We have various different episode types. Sometimes we watch the first episode of a show and see if it holds up. Sometimes we watch a very bad movie. Thank you for Neil Breen.
Ugh.
And
is that a digestion, Matt? You okay?
No, sorry. We're good.
But this week we want to introduce you to one of our favorite formats. It is elevator pitch. Rob?
Yeah, you've been part of this before, Nick, so you're going to be part of it again. Gonna cue the music here. And here we are for a episode of Elevator Pitch, the show where we get on an elevator with a big money, deep-pocketed CEO. We pitch him a topic based on our episode topic, and somebody ends up walking away with a really big check. The topic this time, Mr. Hatton?
Oh, no. After you. Or Matt. Matt, okay. You haven't given it.
Yeah, Matt.
No.
All right. So this episode's topic is we are going to either take a movie and turn it into a video game or a video game and turn it into a movie. We already know who our CEO is going to be. We are currently on the elevator with Mr. Nicholas Haskins.
Theater of the Mind. Now, real quick, I just want to explain the professionalism of both the Something Cast and myself. There's a reason why I was like, Rob, after you. And that's because I wrote 2 elevator pitches because I wasn't sure whether we were doing one or both. So I, being the ever prepared, I did extra work. Thanks, Rob.
Okay.
But
I mean,
now I don't have to.
Nick, do you have like snacks nearby or a sandwich, maybe an MRE?
Ooh, I got
wait, no, I got this covered. I got my spicy jelly beans.
Yummy.
Yeah, because historically speaking, elevator pitches are supposed to be like quick in and out. Hey, here's some info dump, and what do you think? James usually writes the first 25 pages of his script as his elevator pitch, so he is known to be very verbose.
And I wrote 2.
Yeah, and this time he wrote 2, so fuck all.
So we're good. We're hours covered. We're good. Yeah,
we're done. Exactly. So we're gonna go through. We're gonna make our movie pitches to Nick. Nick, feel free to ask any questions of us based off of our pitches, anything that you want us to dive deeper into. And then we'll shoot the shit for a little bit while you kind of ponder all the possibilities. And then somebody's going to get the comically big check. So, Big Matt.
Yes.
How about you start? You know what? We're going to have a Hatton start us off because he's got two.
No, but I'm only reading one of them. I'm not going to give both.
Oh, are you?
Let's see how much time this takes.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the best of times. Okay.
My dearest Begonia.
The year of our Lord.
Okay. The cutscene of our game opens up with you waking up from your bed as the sound of a klaxon rings out. 5-minute warning, a voice comes from everywhere. You look at your alarm clock, dead. Damn it. You look at your phone and realize it's 6:55. You glance outside and there are shadowy figures moving around, a couple of blinks of neon light. Quickly, you run downstairs, start flipping switches, but much like your alarm clock, the power is dead. The camera pulls back to show the street, shapes of people looming, some in neon masks, some in Mad Max gear. As the announcement begins, this is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system, announcing the commencement of the annual Purge, sanctioned by the U.S. government. Welcome to the Purge, the video game. The game plays like a first-person runner like Mirror's Edge or Dying Light. Your only goal is to survive. How? It's up to you. Barter to avoid fights, do side missions to earn weapons, outfits, faction points. There's a major plot you can get into about the mayor utilizing the Purge to kill his opponents, but you can ignore it. Run the gauntlet to win a new car. Be the runner in a gang war. Spend the night defending waves of Purgers attacking a convenience store. Kill to survive. Or just for fun. It's your decision. It's your Purge.
So, what's the achievement? How many people do you have to kill during the Purge to get the secret achievement for killing a high number of people? What's that number?
You're looking for the achievement is called Screw Dead Rising, and whatever that number is, traditionally it's got to be one more than whatever the last Dead Rising number was. I don't remember. It was like some stupid number, like 60,000, to get the Mega Man blaster. But I'm on the same page because I did that achievement. My girlfriend at the time was, how many days are you going to sit here driving through the same 100 zombies? So it's called Screw Dead Rising, which I think is the gift.
Nice. Now, because this is a game and we're going to be using weapons to slaughter things, what other IPs can you find weapons from hidden, and like there's a super side quest that you got to go on? What other weapons can you acquire in this world besides just normal Purge weapons?
I like it. I mean, I would love to believe that there is a crafting element, but not to steal too much from Dead Rising. Let's say lightsabers have been done way too much. I am going to say God of War's big Ragnarok sumbitch axe.
So you can kill 60,000 people at once with that.
Yeah,
That's how you get the achievement. That's how you pop that cheeve. You got to kill all the people. Like, you got to get them in a mall or something and just like, honk. If the FBI is watching, we're normal people, we promise.
Centrifugal force. Like you're in a mosh pit of the damned.
Who? So this is a modern game. Who is the main character modeled after? Who did all the mocap work and everything? And who's the model for the main character?
Yeah, I was afraid you were going to ask that question because I was trying to figure out whether you get to pick your character or what. I had originally written a whole subplot about you going and saving your daughter or whatever, and I was like, oh crap, that's just The Last of Us. I don't know. What's his face? The guy who played King Kong and
Circus?
Gollum.
Circus?
Yeah, Andy Serkis. We'll just go with Andy Serkis because he's everybody at this point. I think I'm part Andy Serkis at this point.
I mean, it would explain a lot.
I'm sorry to Mrs. Serkis.
Can you see past the cameras right now? Are you on the set right now? Are you okay? I don't think I have any more questions.
Fair enough, sir. Thank you for your time in this very overly long elevator.
Big Matt, over to you.
He said, whoa, what was, tell me what it was. I gotta know, what was it?
So that was, well, this is Bardstown Discovery number 11. It is a 124 proof, barrel proof bourbon from Bardstown Distillery. And it's fantastic. Comes with a finish like cherries. I shit you not.
Oh, sounds good.
So, hear me out. You remember these games back in the day? The tycoon games. Roller Coaster Tycoon, Farming Tycoon, all this stuff, right? So I feel like this is just an opportunity that has not been plumbed. Succession, the games. So, it's 4 games in this set. News Media Tycoon, Amusement Park Tycoon, Cruise Line Tycoon, and if you can work your way up through and beat those 3 games, you can unlock C-Suite Tycoon. So you have to play through the first 3 games, starting at the bottom of each. You come in, your name is Greg. We're just going to go with that. Working your way up to CEO of each division. Once those are achieved, you start into Succession C-Suite, where you start again at the bottom of the exec level, working for Tom. Working your way up to the next CEO, to be the next CEO through crime, cheating, good management, bad management, teenage waiter murder, drug use, interfamily arguments, etc. You basically have to manage in each one of these the day-to-day workings of each. So seating charts, catering, pay stubs, HR, etc. All while dealing with like hostile siblings who are looking to undermine you to your father, the CEO, as well as hostile takeovers from outsiders. And also finding cocaine. Tagline: do you have what it takes to beat Logan Roy? Boom.
Now, this is going to be tough for me because I've never watched Succession.
You really should.
So,
Totally
my first question is, you said you can rise through the ranks by any means necessary.
Correct.
So this guy over here just chewed my ear off about some purge nonsense for like 10 minutes and stuff. And I think he really wants me to give him the check. So what if you rose through the ranks by just having a purge and killing everybody else in one night that's in your way of rising to the top of the company? I mean,
hey, I'm not going to say that wouldn't work. I'm just going to say it hasn't been tried yet.
Wait, it's a tycoon game. It's a tycoon game, so it could be a natural disaster that you like unlock, and like it completely comes through the whole thing.
The high rise that was located in Chicago got taken out by an earthquake. That entire office suite is down. So who jumps in to take over for them? You do.
The Rock does, because it's now a crossover with San Andreas, and he's on a helicopter flying in to save his wife, Gina Gershon, from something.
What was the other one he was in? High Rise or?
Oh, yeah. What was that movie? It was like a really...
Skyscraper,
yeah. It was Hong Kong Die Hard or whatever.
Or Nicholas Braun, who's the mocap for this, character that you are playing.
I love it. I don't have any more questions.
Wow.
Now I just want bourbon.
I'll say this, Matt, your game has an amazing theme song.
Yeah, it does.
It's the killing theme song. All right, Rob, we turn to you.
So, as is no surprise, I leaned more into a racing/driving game. Those are some of my more fun ones to play. This is part Need for Speed, part GTA 5, part Stuntman, but all family. It is. It is the Fast and the Furious video game. Now, there have been Fast and the Furious video games out before, and they were all trash. This is going to be very similar to the GTA 5 kind of play style, where you will have mission-based missions that you will be able to achieve, but you will be able to flip between various characters during the overall ongoing story arc. So you'll be able to switch between Dom, between Letty, between The Rock and his character and the other ones that were involved. You're going to have heist missions. You're going to have racing missions, very much like Need for Speed and Need for Speed Underground. You're going to have stealth missions. You're going to have like espionage missions, because most of the Fast and Furious movies, excuse me, have gone away from the heist stuff from the first couple movies into almost XXX style, James Bondish style movies. So you're going to be able to drift between, no pun intended, all of those different mission and game types in playing of this game.
So now, what you've just done, Rob, what you've just done is you found a way to bring everyone's game concept together, because my very limited exposure to Fast and Furious is Fast X and Hobbs and Shaw presents whatever the hell the rest of that movie was called. The Rock wanted to take a vacation to Samoa, and like they had a whole third act where they just took a long vacation. The Adam Sandler methodology, we'll call it. What you've done is you've created a method by which we can bring in Big Matt's Tycoon style game, because there can be a tycoon element to this. We can bring in James Hatton's Purge style video game, because there can be Purge set missions. Now, question number one that I have for you: can there be a character creator for this game wherein you can give your character special moves and stuff, like when John Cena gives the attitude adjustment to a dude through a floor?
So if you play the campaign mission, no, the campaign style, you would be switching between the main characters from the franchise. But there will be an online version where you will be able to character create your own character.
Okay, and this is where the real money is, because it'll be on for like 20 years, and it'll still be going like forever, with content being added to it like forever, like the Purge DLC and like the Tycoon DLC, where you have to build up like Dom's car empire and things like this. Okay, next question. How many? Give me the tier rankings for the number of achievements for building the family, because I imagine one of the big subsets of this game will be acquiring family members, so you can get that special cutscene of "Welcome to the family. You're part of the family now. You belong in the family now." Like, how many tiers are there?
Friends. I got family.
Tell me how many levels there are to that achievement. Like, how many ranks are there? And what's the maximum? Is there a peak family size? How big can you make the family?
We haven't come up with a upper limit on how big the family is, because at the end of the game, when you beat the campaign mode, the cutscene is obviously going to be all of them in Dom's backyard having the barbecue.
Having a big fucking barbecue, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And whoever you have acquired as allies throughout the game will be present at the barbecue at the cutscene at the end. So it really depends on how you, the player, decide to go through and what choices and relationships you make as to how big that barbecue at the end of the cutscene is going to be.
So that I'm envisioning a scenario wherein it could be just an intimate affair with only a couple of people, because you have done the Purge DLC and straight up murked everyone in the city, or flip side of it, you have built up through the Tycoon DLC, you have built up so many members in the family that this barbecue is being held at like the LA Coliseum, where like literally like the whole field is just lined with grills and cars, classic cars, muscle cars, all that kind of stuff. And you're walking through and grabbing a Corona.
Tables.
You got a Corona Light, and you've got whatever meat they're barbecuing and everything, and like everyone's bald. That's a key. There's no, when you do the character creator, every single character is bald. There's no hair option. If you try to choose one, the game will know that you have downloaded it illegally, and it'll actually lock you out of it, like the anti-cheat measures and like the GTA games and stuff, where the car just accelerates uncontrollably.
Just real quick, I really like the idea of playing the game so at the end it's just Vin Diesel just sitting there on the bench like sad Keanu, and just
like Conan at the end of the movie on the throne by himself.
I am Groot.
The animations at the end aren't going to be any different. So whether it's just Dom or whether it's Dom and 500 people, he's going to be talking to people who are like empty chairs who aren't
He's gonna look like Madman.
Yeah, exactly.
I just hope if nothing else, that I've made Dan proud right now. I just hope beyond hope that I've made Dan proud because what I'm gonna do is Rob. So I get to pick now, right? I get to pick. I get to do what I get to check.
Well,
right.
Normally during the traditional elevator pitch, this is the point in time where we'd sort of kibitz talk amongst ourselves while you use that big brain to decide. I mean, this is gajillions of dollars. This is a comically giant check.
Make your company.
So, I mean, if you want to just throw the money at one of us, you do you. We're not going to say no to you, Mr. CEO.
Before you do that, Nick, I do want to say that it is interesting that all of us decided to go with a movie or TV property and turn it into a video game, and none of us went the other way.
It's true.
Okay.
And I also like that everyone skipped the obvious, like John Wick. Just,
yeah.
I feel like that's the most obvious.
I won't lie. When I was looking for like the best games, the best narrative games out there, either have a show, are getting a show, or I don't want there to be a show. There's only like one or two left where I was like, I think this would make a good movie, and I guarantee you in the next 5 years there'll be treatments for it. I think one of them, I think one of the ones on my list, my pencil list, was BioShock, and I'm pretty sure it's getting a TV show.
It is.
There we go.
See, I also just saw Boy Kills World, and I was trying to figure out, I mean, that feels like a video game that you watched. I don't know if any of you have seen that yet.
No. It's on my list to watch this week.
Worth seeing. Stupid fun.
I missed it, unfortunately. Yeah. No, so I think I'm ready. I think I've got this one. All right. So there are going to be podcasts, Rob, you're going to hire Big Matt and James Hatton as project managers to oversee what will become the Furious game franchise, because it is going to encompass, like, there's gonna be whole sections of this where, like, maybe like you got to go to Rome and play Rocket League, and you gotta straight like purge everyone in the city because they're all on a different family. But then in the sequel, they're all gonna then join the family. They're now part of the family, and now you're against someone else. So I'm gonna give it to Podcast Rob, and he's gonna get the startup money, but he has to bring the two of you in, because this is gonna be the most expansive game world of all time. Because in the end, and the slogan for it's going to be on the walls in all the cubicle farms and everything where everyone's working on this game. Just one word, Rob. Family.
Yeah. All right. My one request, Rob, can you play as the small child who commits his first murders in Fast 10? That's all I want.
He'll be an unlockable character.
All right.
Oh, that's a DLC skin?
Yeah. Nick, I do want to, like, I'll play the part of Fast and Furious apologist here. Do yourself a favor and go watch Fast 5. Fast 5 is probably the best movie out of the entire franchise. The fact that you started with 10 and Hobbs and Shaw.
Well, Dan, see, last year after Livestream, we had to, Gerald and Dan's travel schedule was weird. Gerald had to leave first thing in the morning, but Dan didn't have to leave until in the afternoon. And that was either the weekend or the weekend after Fast X came out. So we went to the theater in Syracuse and watched, I don't think we watched it in IMAX. I think we had to watch it in just a normal theater. But we went to see Fast X. And let me tell you, you have never watched a movie and seen it be enjoyed more by a person than you could see watching Dan Brennick watch Fast X in a movie theater. Because this man was cheering and clapping and fist pumping, and there he is. He's in here now. And
John Cena hit the attitude adjustment on a man through a floor,
literally through a floor
of a house.
I hate that this gets rid of a person when it
and I clapped. Okay, do you understand that? Like, do we all?
I love Fast.
Dan, did I make you proud? I hope I made you proud.
In the theater?
Fast 10. I'm not gonna lie.
This is exactly what happened. He picks him up on his shoulders. I'm like, and then he does, and I'm like, and then I remember like, oh, I'm in a theater. I can't stand all the way up.
Yabadoo
was greatness.
But I was so happy. I was like. The scene ended, and I leaned over the neck. I'm like, immediate 10 out of 10. Just not even a question.
Pure, unadulterated greatness.
Fast 10 was fun. Like, I won't lie. but 5 was...
I heard that sigh, Big Matt. I heard that.
I hate those movies so much.
Attitude adjustment through the floor.
I think it was Fast 5.
By hitting a crane playing ping pong with a bomb.
I think it was Fast 5 where they really started just understanding what they were and not caring anymore. And like that was it.
The series started out of a group of people with cars stealing TV VHS combos. And now they're working for the government as spec ops. I don't know. In cars.
I would like to address that you're right. Nobody plays that movie straight. Everybody's the foil. Everybody's the laugh guy, except for Vin Diesel, who plays it dead to rights.
My favorite part of 10, the only part I really liked is just how crazy Momoa played the character.
Oh, so good.
He was the best part of Fast 10.
So good. The ham was just incredible. The absolute ham fest.
He is the only bad guy who will not be a part of the family at any point.
Family.
This is true.
Because every other bad guy is now a part of the family.
He came in, read the brief, and said, "Got this."
Speaking of my family, where's the bearded family that I have? Where's my bearded family? Gerald, you're my bearded family. Where are you? Come to me, Gerald. Into the room, because I have to step away. So you guys, I'm gonna have you guys give your next elevator pitch to Gerald, and I'm gonna make him work. I'm here, hang Taijidit. Taijidit, he wrote. I don't know what that means. Give me those Gerald emotes in the chat so we can hype ourselves up. Yeah, I gotta step. I need a bio break, and I gotta step away for a little bit. So I'm gonna have Gerald come in for the next elevator pitch really quick. Eventually, I mean,
fair enough. Well,
just
Rob. Given that we what? Oh, hi.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask whether you wanted to start discussing the thing that we said we might be discussing.
Are you talking about? What happens at the end of July, or what happens?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I guess we can talk about that. Yeah, well, sure. And now downer.
Now I can't leave yet.
Cross
there might be a sneak preview, right?
Where did Beard go?
Oh, get your ass back in here.
Jesus.
Oh no, this is not the sneak preview. Although I guess we can discuss that a bit too. But yeah,
I mean, there wasn't a plan for that, but I guess we can.
I mean, whatever. We're easy peasy.
I'm still here. I can hear you guys. You just can't see me, but I still have to be in the room for you guys to hear alerts.
That's fair. I just like that we're going to hear you. We're going to hear you peeing and then admit to a murder.
Shh.
Speaking of alerts, there is the link in chat, folks. If you are watching this segment right now, please, your donations go to the Cancer Research Institute to help them fund their research into cancer immunotherapy. Let's make a world immune to cancer, please.
Hell yeah.
So I guess let's start with the bad news.
Yeah.
July is 11 years of the something cast. And I've always joked and said that if you told us when we first started this that we were going to make it to 11 years, I would have asked, what did we do wrong to you and who hurt you?
Yeah.
But here we are 11 years later, and we have made the decision at the end of July. We will be closing the doors and turning off the lights on the something cast. It has been a good 11 years. It's been a fun 11 years. It has allowed us to do things and meet people that we otherwise never would have been able to do and meet. But there is an itch that it is no longer scratching. So we're going to be moving away at the end of July. We are working on what will come next.
Yeah, there's a thing.
Which will be released in December. It will be something that is vastly different than the podcasting thing that we've been doing. I don't necessarily want to say too much about it until we get deeper into it, but it is a group effort. It is going to have video element to it, which our podcast never did. We're already into rehearsals, and we're going to start doing recordings on things in probably August, September. And then we're going to start dropping episodes of the new project in December-ish, end of November, beginning of December.
I won't lie, Cini, with will it be called something vastly different, which is a really good name.
That's a good name.
If I could just tag on to that, yeah, this was a group decision. It was not made lightly. It was made with many conversations, and it just became, we were talking about end of year, then we were talking about end of summer, and then it was just, why not on the anniversary? And we just sort of kept inching it back, just for the reason that we have now other ideas and other big things, and podcast is a weird universe. That, we got other stuff going, and we would like to other stuff. So anyway, we're going to be doing some sort of big goodbye episode at the end of July. Please don't miss it. And yeah, it's a bummer. You're right. This was a horrible thing to do at the end of the episode. We should talk about fun things.
Yeah, way to do it during a charity event. Bring the whole mood of the room down. Good job.
Matt, tell a joke.
Three men walk into a bar. Don't you think the third would have ducked? Hey, that's all I got.
That's terrible.
That's pretty good. I like that.
But yeah, I mean, I actually wrote out a list of all the guests that we've had on our show over 11 years. And holy fuck, it was a much bigger list than I had anticipated it being when I went in typing it out. But between podcasts like Epic Film Guys, like Two Peas in a Podcast, Netflix and Swill, like we never would have met any of these people or been part of this this great event that's been going on 8 years now, if it were not for this show. So the show has allowed us to go to conventions and meet people and interview people that we, again, otherwise never would have ever been able to get a hold of.
Who are some of the favorites that you got to meet over the years?
Ooh.
So I have two right off the bat.
I know one of yours, and it's one of mine. My other one is probably the hardest episode we did, which was the Transcontinental Quest reunion episode, where we had all of the members of the Quest on, as many as we could get anyway. And these were people who hadn't talked to each other in since the show, briefly here and there. And that gave us a bunch of friends to the show. And so, yeah, I would say that was probably our most bold and one of my favorite episodes, just because we were doing something I don't think had been done up to that point. But
for those who don't know what the Quest is, it was a fantasy reality TV show that was on ABC a bunch of years ago. It moved to Netflix for the replay, and then Disney Plus just picked. They did a reboot / second season of it about 2 years ago. But it was basically like a live action LARP without the real combat. So these people were taken from, the Earth realm and brought to Everrealm to defeat the darkness that was Verlox, and they had to be trained as paladins, and those who didn't make the cut slowly got eliminated off until there was the one true hero. And I watched this show on Netflix and fucking fell in love with it. And I told Hatton about it. We were just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. We started reaching out to people, and before we knew it, we had like a reunion show with a bunch of the principal characters who were the contestants, a bunch of the principal cast. And this was on Skype when Skype was still kind of terrible. And we were doing, we had, I want to say it was like 14 people on at once. Yes. And it was people in Florida, Texas, Pennsylvania, California, Romania, France, Italy. Yeah. Like they were all over the fucking world. For some people, it was 4 o'clock in the morning and they're like, hell yeah, I'll get on this call and talk to these people.
Nice. That's great.
And it was super cool. And it was like, it was playing whack-a-mole because people kept disconnecting and we had to reconnect to certain people the entire show. And God, I think I slept for 2 days after that, but that was definitely a good one.
I was just real quick for our sound engineers, producers, and whatnot in the universe who are listening to this. When I got the sound file, it was one sound file. So I was doing a lot of manual peaks and edits to try and, because none of these people were working with sound equipment.
No,
so one of them's here and one of them's here and one of them's in Romania.
Yeah.
Rob,
okay, next. Who is the other one?
I know.
I think personally for me, it's kind of a tie between Jessica Ragsy Ewood, who was one of the finalists on season 1 of Lego Masters, because we just reached out to her cold, and that was the one where we had to do the most pre-game work, because we had to come up with a list of questions that we had to run through Fox because the finale hadn't aired yet. Yeah. So Fox's legal team had to go through and vet all the questions and what we could talk about and what we couldn't and everything. And it took like 4 weeks to set up, but we finally got it done. But I think my overall favorite is Ralph Garman.
Yeah, hands down. I knew.
He was host of the Joe Schmo Show. He pals around with Kevin Smith and his podcast and everything. Somebody tweeted, if you're a podcast, who's your dream interview? And I responded back and tagged him, and I said, easy, Ralph Garman. And within 3 minutes, Ralph had responded and said, you need to aim higher. And I was like, are you kidding? We would love to have you on the show. And I had barely hit send on that tweet I got a DM from him and said, so how do we make this happen?
Oh, nice.
And I texted Hatton. I said, we're getting Ralph Garman on the show. And Hatton texted back in all capital letters, don't fucking play with my emotions.
Because at that point he was doing a lot of the Kevin Smith podcast. He was working with him fairly heavily. And when we started talking with him, we started to like, look, there's probably going to be a big chunk of this that's going to be about that one game show you did 15 years ago. He's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, he was easily like one of the coolest people that we talked to. But again, if it wasn't for the show, never would have gotten the opportunity to do so.
I thought you would have said David Dastmalchian.
So David Dastmalchian is cool. We never had him on the show as a guest. He did a bumper for us, and we met him at a convention down in Atlantic City, but we never had the opportunity to have him on as a guest. But he is easily like just one of the outright nicest people that we ever fucking met.
Yeah, he was very, very nice.
And met in person, I should say, because we've met a lot of really awesome people virtually and visually through the podcast and audio and stuff. But in person, yeah, Dastmalchian's a real stand-up guy.
Nice.
So,
and you know, I've only been a part of this podcast for like 2 months, so the nicest person I met's got to be Nick.
Yeah,
you know, I'm just
well done.
Yeah,
he already voted for Rob.
A, you're saying that because he can hear you, and B, he just likes your voice.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll say thanks to the contribution to the podcast community. I mean, you guys are. I mean, I love listening to you on live stream, the shows, the interviews. Podcast, Rob. I'm a big fan of yours. You tripped me out, dude.
I appreciate that.
I'm just a big fan. I really appreciate y'all's contribution. It's a bittersweet announcement for sure. And I know that a lot of people in the chat will probably share that sentiment, but obviously we're happy for what you have on the horizon. I hope, you know, if you're happy, we're happy, basically, you know.
Yeah, we will be part of live stream for the Cure 9. It will just be in a different setting.
Yeah.
But we will
have to go through our lawyers because we'll be divorced.
we will make every effort to be part of next year's as well. But
Most certainly.
I appreciate you saying that. You know, the constant joke is that, you know, aside from me, Hatton, and Matt, there's like 4 other people who listen to our show.
Right.
But to hear that from people and podcasts in the indie podcast community that we kind of look up to, and that I personally look up to, and be like, yo, these guys are killing it. Look at the content they're putting out, the TikTok videos, the interviews and stuff like that. Like, to hear that kind of stuff, that fucking means a lot, Gerald. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, you guys are great, and it's
much love.
It's been a great run for sure, and
I have
bittersweet.
Shut up, Joe. Also, I love you. Also, I have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Breaking news.
Is Matt okay?
Godzilla -1 will finally hit not theaters. It'll be available to watch outside of Japan on Netflix, seemingly sometime this weekend.
Such a good movie.
Fuck.
Such a good movie.
I gotta get fucking Netflix again.
You do. You should just have it.
They gotta do a 4K physical.
Podcast Rob, if you just watch One Piece, you'll be fine. No one cares.
I got to put it on my rotation. Like, I have too many streaming services, so I try to have no more than 3. So something's got to go for me to pick something up.
Hey,
I just got rid of Hulu so I could pick up Dropout. So
let me tell you something.
Dropout is the streaming service. Dropout is the streaming service that used to be College Humor.
Yeah.
They're Dropout TV, but they have their own streaming service for all the content that they do. Dimension 20, Game Changer, make some noise, stuff like that.
You have to keep Shudder. The Shudder is my one go-to
Shudder
app.
stays.
Hells yeah.
Well, I'm getting rid of Paramount Plus once the final season of Evil is done. Then Paramount Plus is going away.
Oh, don't worry, that'll come to Netflix.
I've already seen the D&D movie and Maverick, so I can get rid of Paramount Plus once Evil's over.
Yeah.
Dan, you've been trying to say
there's
something.
like 100.
No, I'm just saying, Podcast Rob, that is the correct way to approach streaming services, is to just rotate them. The people who are like, well, streaming's so expensive. Yeah, it's expensive if you want every one of them at the same time. But the beauty of it is, you don't have to.
Yep.
Yeah. You can literally go in for a month, watch everything that you want to watch in that month, and then fucking get rid of it.
Yeah. Exactly.
You got to put that shit on your calendar reminders, though.
Yo, yes, you do.
Because I was going through my bank account the other day, I'm like, why the fuck am I still paying for Hulu? Like, I haven't opened up Hulu in like 5 months. I'm like, screw that.
All right, but yes, that's all I wanted to say. I just saw that that news pop up. So yes, Godzilla -1. Be on the lookout for that on Netflix sometime this weekend.
You know, I really wanted to get into it with Nick on his take on Furiosa. I really did. He sounded like he had an opinion
with him, Matt.
What did you think?
You went and saw it. Well,
well, we didn't see it together, but it was our episode this week. You know, him and I do 2Ps together, and he, spoiler alert, he gave it a 5 out of 10. I gave it a 10. It was my number one.
Here comes the money.
We got a donation rolling in, but I can't. I think it's Michelle with the $10 donation, but I can't read the comment, Michelle, because Nick's not here.
That is correct. It is Michelle with the $10 donation, but I also can't read the comment.
Does someone need to do a shot for this donation?
Thank you, Michelle. Are you guys doing shots? I missed the opening of the segment. Are you doing shots?
No, not this year, not me.
Okay, so tell me your opinion. 10 out of 10. You enjoyed it. Why?
I absolutely loved it. And to keep it short and simple is because it really enhanced the whole Mad Max world. Just this one movie made all the other movies better for me personally, including Fury Road. Like, just the substance and the background that was added to her specifically, but just the world, because it was a little ambiguous and a little kind of mysterious. And I think Furiosa really added a lot of detail. And I'm not even talking about the filmmaking, which is also top tier. George Miller is a psychotic maniac in his twilight of his years, just making, in my opinion, glorious masterpieces. But, you know, it looked beautiful. The performances were great. And I just love how it just added so much to this kind of mysterious world for me personally. What about you, Matt? Did you dig it, or?
I really liked it. I would say 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I feel like the thing that not bothered me, but it's like Fury Road. So much of that was everything was practical effects as much as possible. There's a little bit more CGI in this one.
Oh, there was a lot, from what I understand.
Yeah,
I heard
you could tell.
I heard the. Oh, sorry. I keep stepping on you. Talk.
Damn it, James. No,
I'll leave.
It didn't take me out of it. It was something I noticed because Fury Road was just so much practical effects. Oh,
Yeah.
he really left. No.
No, he did not.
No,
I'm just here to roast Gerald. Everyone, that's 3 shots. Reminder, 3 shots for Gerald saying, for me personally, in my opinion, and for me personally.
Did I say all of those?
You said that, yeah, in a shotgun. It was amazing.
It really was.
Everything I hate
Wow.
about the way you speak, you did it immediately.
Oh, thank you.
In one
Oh,
sentence.
good.
But all that
It was
said,
incredible.
The movie was great. Like a lot of the Mad Max movies have an ambiguity to them because they're all being told as a story from someone passed down. That's like all the Max tales are stories. So this one actually had like a first person point of view, and I really liked it.
Hey,
And
Gerald,
I thought it added to it.
for you personally, did you think that Anna Taylor did a good job of portraying a early Charlize Theron?
Yes, I do. I'm a bit of a stan of hers, though, so I'm a
Yeah,
little
me too.
biased. I mean, she could do fucking anything. I'd be like,
Charlize or
wow, that was
Anna
great.
Taylor?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
See,
Yeah,
I am not a fan of hers. I thought.
Oh, okay.
I thought her and she was not great in Peaky Blinders. I thought.
I was.
Well, she was really young for that one. Wasn't that like one of her first big drops?
Yeah, that was an early one.
'Cause she's
I was
amazing
hooked on her.
in Gambit.
Did you guys ever see
that's
The
fair,
Witch?
but I thought she was amazing
Rob-
in this. Like,
Did you ever see The Witch, the Robert Eggers horror, New England horror folktale
No,
thing?
was
Have
she in
not.
that?
So that was when I got hooked on her, and I want to say that was like 2015 or whatever. She was pretty young in that. But that hooked me in. I was like, this chick is like, because she goes through such a crazy arc in that movie. I'm like, she is going to be something. And then, of course, here we are sitting here talking about her being Furiosa.
Yeah.
But
She's for me,
yeah, I
she's
think
kind of
so.
an acquired taste.
Mhm.
It takes a little while for me to warm up to stuff that she does, kind of like the chick in Westworld. Hatton knows who I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
Rachel. No, not Rachel.
Nope. Yes, Rachel, because she
yeah.
that one. Rachel
She
Evan
takes-
Wood.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, Rachel Evan Wood. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have a few I feel same way. about her.
No, not her. Not her. The other chick.
Oh,
The
Tandy,
the
not
the
Tandy.
prostitute chick with the long
Big
with
Eyes.
the long neck. Yeah, Big Eyes, long neck.
That one. I don't remember her name.
Safira something.
She's
got a very
she's-
European name.
She's really good, but like it took me a while to warm up to her. And it's kind of the same thing with Anna Taylor-Joy. I didn't see Queen's Gambit, but I liked her in The Menu. But
Menu
again,
was
it
great.
took me a little bit to warm up to her in The Menu.
I
What
saw an
about,
interview with her about Furiosa, and she was talking about, and this was to your point about CGI earlier, Matt. What they did was at the beginning of the movie, the child who plays young her, they CGI'd features of what's her face, last Furiosa, Charlize Theron, onto the child's face, and then slowly but surely they like turned the dial away from Charlize up to Anna Taylor. So then by the end, she looks closer to Anya Taylor-Joy.
You could
Which I
kind
thought
of
was crazy cool.
tell that. Yeah. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, I didn't like her in Peaky Blinders. I thought she was kind of wooden or didn't fit in that as well, but I thought she was pretty fucking amazing in this one. Like
Did
it
you guys
worked
see,
really well. She had the fury.
yeah. Did you guys see Last Night in Soho a couple years
Yes.
ago? Yeah, she was
I
great
thought that
in
was a very
too.
pretty movie. I didn't.
Is that a
Wow.
movie.
So
Is that a horror
wizard,
movie?
so wizard going off the rope.
It's
in
like
fucking chat.
kind of a horror romance kind of. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to pigeonhole a little bit, but it definitely has horror elements.
Also, is The Menu a horror movie? I haven't seen it. Would I
It's a
add
dark
it to my
comedy.
October watching list?
I'd say dark comedy.
Yeah, I would categorize it more. Hatton saying a dark comedy, like a kind of a thriller, maybe you could say.
Yeah, definitely suspense.
So not an
suspense thriller.
October movie then.
Not
it's,
really.
It's
I
like on the
mean-
cusp. I would say it's more of a November movie because of Thanksgiving.
Okay, okay.
It is.
It's
really
definitely
funny, though. Like
it's definitely
really
less
funny.
of a horror
Darkly
movie. It's definitely less of a horror movie than Natural Born Killers.
But isn't Thanksgiving an October movie?
I
Thanksgiving.
was in mid sip podcast, Rob. You can't do
Thanksgiving,
that to me.
ironically, is an October movie. Yeah.
The Eli Roth.
Yeah, I was.
Even country. Oh, another donation.
There we go.
Here comes the money.
Nick needs to come back so we can see who these are. But Dan, are you there?
Michelle with a $10 donation
There he is.
the 5-6 minutes ago, and then that just says WAG with a $100 donation that says stuff cancer. Thank you so much for the donations and everyone. I'm here. I put my headphones back on and plugged them right back in just as I heard Furiosa talk. Thank God.
Yeah, everybody stop talking about Nick. He's back. So
nice. Oh, that guy.
Nick, you almost missed you missed Gerald spitting alcohol out his nose. Almost got him.
Yeah, he hit me with the Natural Born Killers not being a horror movie as I was drinking a sip of beer. I'll just spit it out.
Because it's
so Nick, if you're there, are you there?
Nope.
Okay. Let's hear your take on Furiosa, please.
Do we have to? I did this for an hour.
I want to know. Make it quick, Nick.
Right.
But I want to know what you thought.
I think it is 2.5 hours of answering questions from Fury Road that no one asked. And I keep harping on one thing in particular, like where the organic mechanic came from, because that's the kind of thing in this movie that nobody needed to know. It's pointless. It's dumb. It's literally 2.5 hours. The Furiosa movie doesn't really do anything to develop Furiosa as a character, and it doesn't really give us anything that we need to, like, Fury Road takes you on the emotional journey of the character, like with giving you so little. We didn't need it. Like it's so needless and pointless. It looks pretty. It's gorgeously shot. The effects are great. Everything looks great. Joey, I wouldn't necessarily crawl naked across the football field of broken glass just to smell a chair that she sat in a week ago. But I think Anya Taylor-Joy is great in the movie. I think all the acting is great. It just sucked. It just sucked shit.
You know the backstory behind it, right? Do you know the backstory behind it? This was actually supposed to be told in an anime chapter style release.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so there was this whole thing that was developed before Fury Road came out. It was Furiosa, her story. It was the video game that came out, which is why some of the characters in Furiosa, like Scrotus, were in the Mad Max video game.
Yes.
So this was all supposed to be a part of this big Mad Max extended universe, if you want to call it that. And when Fury Road made a whole shit ton of money, they're like, "Oh, we got to make this a movie. We got to do it right now. Get a big star in it. Go." So it was kind of the studio that forced this on, and I still think it came out pretty well.
I still think it came out way too many years too late too, because I mean, with all the lawsuits and everything between Miller and the studio dragging it out for ages, I really think that didn't do it any favors either. This should have come out, if it was going to come out, 2 years after Fury Road did.
The anime was supposed to, I believe, come out within 6 months after Fury Road.
Yeah, because he was talking about this even back when they were doing Fury Road, like talking about doing sequels and the Furiosa
before
thing.
Fury Road.
Yeah,
he wrote the Furiosa backstory before Fury Road. So there is kind of a backstory here.
Matt or anyone else, did anybody watch Fury Road right after watching this, or am I the only one that's done that?
No, but
watching them back to back is pretty incredible.
Thinking about doing that,
like it was like a 4 hour, like, oh my God, this, because it was pretty seamless. And that's why I said yes to podcast Rob's question about Anya Taylor-Joy, because I feel like she did capture that kind of what we get in Fury Road, which is the elevated kind of like renegade persona that we get for Furiosa. And it's obviously, how did she get there? And I thought watching them back to back made both of those movies better.
Also,
they complemented each other so well.
I want to believe that is Chris Hemsworth's natural voice. Like, he just goes around talking like that. I want
Hemsworth's so good in it. He's so good.
What voice did he put on?
I can't even.
According to like Paul and Wayne, because like, and I think Dave and Billy might have mentioned this too, but like, because they're from Australia, so it's like Australian hick, like it's an Australian hick accent. Like the people that live out in the middle of like nowhere and like whatever Australia, something like that. I might be butchering that.
Australian chav kind of thing.
Yeah, like a backwoodsy Australian like sort of thing. At least that's my understanding of it. I think Paul and Wayne mentioned
or
that.
something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I think that's what they mentioned. I loved Hemsworth in it. I hate that he disappears for the entire middle act of the movie, but
yeah, and of course, Immortan Joe was pretty great in his small scenes. You know.
Yeah, he should have been more prominent in Furiosa, and Nick and I kind of agreed.
I was mad that we didn't get more of that because I wanted, like, the film just takes a hard jump from, like, she finally, spoiler alert for Furiosa, takes him out and everything like that. And then it just does a hard cut to, we don't know how many years later it is by the time she ends up becoming the Imperator, and then takes the women out. Like, we get one brief scene of her with the wives, with the Morton Joe's wives. We don't get, I wanted more of, like, why does she make this ultimate choice of, like, they literally have written on the floor, like, our babies will not be warlords in Fury Road, and, like, that whole thing of, like, she's willing to risk, like, death and all this kind of stuff to kidnap them. Like, I wanted more of that. Like, why did she reach that decision? We didn't need 2.5 hours of, I mean, like I said, it felt like a nerd fanboy checklist of, like, we have to answer all these questions from Fury Road that nobody needed answers to.
So if you were to compare this to, say, like, ultimate fanboy pandering for no reason, let's use a random movie off the top of a Solo. Where does this sit on that?
Furiosa is as bad as them choosing his name at, like, an Imperial, whatever that was. It's like, oh, you're by yourself, so we'll call you Han Solo, and that's your name. That's the Furiosa's writing is that levels of bad at times.
You are so wrong. It hurts.
Nick, the Furiosa thing, I don't know, man. But look, did you hear, because you stepped away, did you hear Podcast Rob's announcement before they wrap up? Did you get that?
Well, no, I had to go. I've started, ladies and gentlemen. So in an hour and 3 minutes time, I have to start punishing my body with the Hot Ones challenge, thanks to Sean Ennis. So I've been preparing, and I'm air frying chicken wings as we speak.
Well,
I thought you were just, like, draining your whole system.
Also,
that's what I thought too.
I should just drain the blood out of my body and just be prepared for it now.
Amityville death toilet.
That's tomorrow morning.
Well, Nick, the something cast is hanging it up, man, at the end of July.
I knew that.
That's what they announced.
I knew that.
Nick was aware of that. He was on a previous show that we kind of let him know that.
But hold on. I like, Gerald, I appreciate the sort of gravity you gave it. You were trying to bring Nick into the fold on that. And Nick's like, yeah, whatever. I know.
These fucking guys.
It was kind of like, give me some real news. Like,
Well, Nick's been sitting on that news for about a month because we interviewed him last month to prepare for this.
Podcast Rob's starting a new podcast called the Something Cast. James and Matt didn't know about it. I'm sorry, guys.
We're not invited either.
Cast. Yeah.
Thanks, Nick.
Never play Dom again.
I love you guys
Nick's
so much.
Nick's no longer part of the
family.
Damn it!
Wow.
We're running out of time on the segment, gentlemen. But just before you do run away, I mean, I know the show is folding in July, and you've got some secret plans coming up for what comes next for the Something verse, as it were. But let people know where they can find you and how they can follow news about all the things that you guys are going to have coming, hopefully later on this year.
You can go to somethingcast.com. It is the repository for all things something. It has all of the buttons and widgets and doodads on which to find us on all of the various social media platforms that we're on, all the different podcatchers that you can listen to us at, everything that you need to know about us, all of our weekly blogs that we put up on Friday, our new episodes on Tuesday. You can find all of that over at somethingcast.com.
Thank you so much for the 100 biddies in the chat, Big Tool. A couple times, I believe, actually.
Just and to be clear, whatever we're coming up with, whatever we do next, somethingcast.com is not going away. I'm going to keep paying for the domain for as long as I see fit, and anything we do will also be updated there, so you can keep track of our goings on.
Amazing,
love it.
Just to add to what Nick said, that Big Tool guy sounds really cool.
He's got a great voice.
Definitely sounds.
Nick, thank you for once again letting us be part of this amazing event.
Always.
It is something that we look forward to
You're
every
my
year.
special friend.
Goodness gracious. Chris from Heroes, thank you so much for the follow. I don't think Brendan and Nathan got to see that when they were here either.
Thanks for all the memories. Seriously, you guys are the best.
PCR.
Thank you, Gerald.
James
I
Hatton.
look forward to seeing you
Big
on
Matt.
the road of podcasting.
Love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Let's end that recording there. La 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 la. Gerald, we already just yeeted him right out of here. And look, he so unceremoniously left. Didn't even finish his upload. He's just gone. Just gone.
Hey,
I'm literally here.
Nope. Get out. I love you guys.
Let me be a part of this. So
love you guys so much.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Nick.